Hey, folks, this is Lonzo. I'm back again today. President of the Hub City Legend, editor of the Hub City Legend, president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. And as we started to move into out of 2024, prepare for 2025, you know what? I've been meeting a lot of people. And I said, you know something? I got this equipment. I use it maybe once or twice a week. That's bullshit. I said, you know what? I'm gonna start doing more shows with different people. More shows with different people. And me and my partner Kevin, you see him on the screen right now, work for LA County Mental Health. We decided to bring you this program on mental health called CLA TV. Kevin, CLA TV. Kevin, talk to him. Tell him what we put together.
So what we're trying to do with you all is let you see LA from a perspective of the people who live here instead of the people who live outside the community trying to make money on us. So we want to just kind of open up the doors to different community vendors and businesses that are doing things in the community to improve the community. And then we also want to, talk about stuff that's going on inside our neighborhoods versus what they think is going on in our neighborhoods. We bring the topics to y'all and we can actually talk about them and let it be seen from the people who live here perspective.
Now, Kevin works directly for mental health. You're here in an unofficial capacity, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, we don't want to get him in no trouble. He don't want to get him in no trouble. He's here in an unofficial capacity. But if you go to any event, Compton, Carson, LA, you may see Kevin manning the men's mental health booth. Now, what's the difference in men's mental health, Kevin, versus female women's mental health?
You know what? It's really hormones. Women, literally, what women are going through. They dealing with God knows what. Because I ain't never been a woman in my life, but I do know that they only have that Y chromosome. We got the XY chromosome.
Okay.
And with us, we deal with situations where we're trying not to show our emotions, but we're dealing with emotions. And we also got the issue of where it says for a man to toughen it up or be tough, but in all actuality, we got emotions, we got feelings. And when we go through these things, we as men have to start understanding that, hey, man, it's good to cry. It's good to go through the emotional struggles and not holding that stuff in, because if you hold that stuff in, you ain't doing nothing but destroying your own self internally.
Okay. We talked about, this is our third show. We talked about some things that make men trip. Before the show started, we were talking about some situations that men get caught up in, and that 5 seconds of bad decision costs you 35, 40 years in the penitentiary. And that is something that we have to learn as men, as people, not to make them split decisions. Sometimes when it's time to act, the best act to do is to get the hell up out of there. Okay?
Right.
And think about it before you do it, because man, come on.
Like you said, that 5 minutes cost you 45, 30, 50 years behind in a pigeon coop.
Yeah. And, it's just amazing that, it's just taking us this long to bring these kind of things to the public. I mean, in private, old men always give you different game. I was telling my partner this morning, one of the things that I was always taught, and it helped me get through a lot of things out in the streets. I was having a problem at the club, and the old man who owned the club heard me arguing with this dude, called me upstairs like a kid. Lonzo, get up here. I'm 27 years old. He still talks to me like a kid, and I respected him as an elder. What's going on? I said, I'm finna whoop this cat's ass. What are you doing? Oh man, he's giving me a problem for a while. So he asked me a couple of questions, and it changed my perspective on a lot of different things. He said, does that guy have a brand new car in the parking lot? I said, no, he don't. Does that guy have a club full of people that just gave him $5 a head to come party in his venue? I said, no, he don't. He said, does that guy have a house paid for around the corner from me? I said, no, he don't. He said, what does that guy have? I said, he probably ain't got nothing. Here's where the catcher came in. So you about to risk everything you got for a nigga that ain't got nothing. Oh, man. Dude, you about to risk everything you got for somebody who don't have nothing. And when I think about some of the things, sometimes no matter how much sense you think you have, Sometimes you think about doing something to folks that hey, but you realize if I knock this nigga out, he just put me. He gonna have me in a legal headlock. He get the right. He get the right to press charges. He get the right to defend, whatever the case may be. And these are the kind of things that you have to be able to decipher on a split second.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I I was at the club. Most of my crazy situations happened at a club, one of my clubs. And this guy was having a conversation. I put him at the club, and of course he was embarrassed. You bald head MF, you bald, you ain't blah 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 blah. And another buddy of mine walked up and heard me talk. Heard this guy talking to me. He said, "Man, that guy called you every name under the sun, and you didn't do nothing. Man, either you the coolest cat in the world or the biggest punk I know." I said, "That's what he told me. You the coolest guy I know, the biggest punk I know." I said, "Tell you what, if I whoop his ass, I may have to call my lawyer. Right. If he whooped my ass, I may have to call my doctor." Tell you what, both those people, my lawyer and my doctor, are very expensive. Do you really want to get them expensive son of bitches in your life for some bullshit? Nah, man. Nah. And that's something else you got to understand, huh?
Oh, you're right.
Ain't no cheap doctors, ain't no discount lawyers, okay?
No.
Especially if you're looking at a major case.
Mm-hmm.
Now, anytime you put your hands on somebody, I had a buddy of mine got into a fight one time, and they got to fighting, homeboy slipped and broke his neck. Guess what he got?
Murder charges.
Manslaughter.
Yeah.
Man, they fighting. They fighting, but he died. Manslaughter. 6 to 7 years, okay? They don't care. Huh? Go ahead.
All they had to do was talk.
All they do was talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you anytime you get into a combative situation with anybody, the outcome could go either way. You can either be the one in the courtroom or in the hospital. You know, I know people, man, they got into tussles with people, and the dude had a bad heart. Homeboy had a stroke while they was tussling. Now, what you do? He had a stroke while they tussling. Okay? Now, whole other problem. So all these situations need to be examined. And sometimes, like I said, if you're thinking fast enough, all right, he called me a bitch. That make me a bitch? No. He called me a punk. That make me a punk. He told me to suck. I ain't sucking. I ain't doing that. So what I need to get up out of here.
Yeah.
I need to go.
Yeah, my father used to tell me as a kid, he'd say, better to say there he goes and there he lays.
There he lays. There you go. Okay. Yeah, you ain't got to tuck your tail, but you got to be smart. And these are some of the things that we as OGs, old guys, brothers, homies, whatever you want to call us, senior citizens, need to share with these youngsters. That's one reason why we're doing this show, so we can hopefully avoid some of the pitfalls of these streets. These streets ain't got no love for you at all.
No.
You live for these streets. Go ahead.
You know what's funny about what you're saying is it's a topic called emotional intelligence.
Okay.
And most of us, what we do is that when someone disrespects us, the first thing we want to do is react off our emotions.
Okay.
And we're not animals. You know, we have a brain, and most of us, these emotions click on our instinct, and our instinct be ready to say something to somebody, fight somebody. But if you really think about the whole situation, if you go through the emotional intelligence spectrum, what you begin to do is you look at it and say, okay, like you did, you know, what this dude just said to me, why am I getting upset about this? Right. Why am I mad? You know, is this worth me getting upset for? And then you think about it. When you get into a fight with somebody, truthfully speaking, if you win, you still lose. Because most of the time when you bust them upside their head, you got some busted knuckles, some messed up hands. So eventually you coming out with bruises that you didn't need to even have.
Right.
And then don't be in a white shirt and like some white clothes and y'all get to wrestle on the ground. Man, that cleaning bill finna be a mother.
Look, I was one time, we got a little time, I guess they ain't showed up. I'm gonna tell you a story, Doc. When I'm at my club, Current Affair, saw this lady crying. I'm trying to be a good manager. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Can I help you? I think I saw the guy that killed my son. I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Let's go outside and talk about it. So I'm walking out, she's still crying. Her nephew walk up, what you do to my auntie? Whoa, 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 whoa. And I ain't do nothing, Doc. Your auntie said she saw the guy that that she saw killed her son, and she got a little emotional. You let him in here? I don't know nothing about nothing. I don't know nothing of y'all. I don't know. You let him in here? So we go outside, and this fool is determined he wants to fight somebody. And I'm trying to calm his auntie down, gave her a napkin, blah, 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 water, whatever, bottle of water, whatever the case may be. And this fool kept on getting on my face, kept getting in my face like I did something. He ain't made no sense shit. You let him in the club, and you might be one of them, whatever it was, the opposite team. But I don't do that, man. So it got to the point, Kevin, I just got frustrated. Fool, you want to fight or what? Man, let's go. So first thing he said was, caught me off guard. He said, hold my teeth. Okay? He told his partner to hold his teeth. Okay? He took out his teeth, gave it to his partner, and I'm laughing at first, but he swung on me, so I had to stop laughing, right? So we tussling, and in the parking lot, we had some loose gravel, and I slipped. Now, he ain't hit me yet. We just tussling, but I slipped, and my cousin, who was like my brother, thought I got knocked down or something. I popped right back up, but he knew where I kept my gun in the club. So he go in the club, come out and get my gun. He let off two in the air. Blue, 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 blue. Fight stop. So everybody calmed down for a minute. All of a sudden, he come Inglewood PD.
Right.
Now the fight been over with for about 10, 15 minutes. I told my cousin, I said, man, put the gun in the safe, so if the cops come, we can say ain't no gun, and they got to have a warrant to open the safe up. I had to drop safe.
Right.
So my cousin's dumbass decides not to pay me no attention. He takes a big ass 357 Magnum and stick it in a phone book behind. Oh, you can't see it. Behind the doggone behind the bar. So you got this gun in a phone book, bulged out, this big old bulge. So I'm back DJing. This how much time been back. I'm back DJing. Well, the cop walk in the club with his flashlight, say, I understand you were in a fight. So no, I have no fight. I had no fight, officer. I was talking about. I'm playing stupid.
Of course.
The cop take his flashlight and roll down, look down my pants. I didn't even know my pants was ripped. My pants were ripped from the ankle to the knee. One of my favorite suits. Ripped from the ankle to the knee. Okay? He said, I heard there was some shots being fired. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And just so happened the cop looked around there, saw this big ass bulge in the phone book, and it was my 357 Magnum. Handcuffed me, took me out my own. I'm in my own parking lot handcuffed. Now, here's the crazy part. The fool that I got into the fight with, he started talking shit to the police. This fool, he wasn't even handcuffed. I'm the only one handcuffed. Then they handcuffed my doorman. We up against the fence in my own club. This is my club. I'm outside handcuffed. He talking to the police. He talked so much to the police, they ended up arresting his ass just for no reason. Because he just would not accept the fact that he didn't have no handcuffs on. And
so he's mad.
He mad. He mad because his auntie is crying. He ain't got no handcuffs. Fuck the police. Woo, woo, woo. I ain't scared to go to jail. Blah, 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 blah. They ended up putting his ass, taking his ass to Inglewood PD, letting us go. But I'm just saying, all that right there, because he didn't want to listen. He never wanted to listen.
Well, now we see why. I'm thinking about it now. That's probably why he wanted to go to jail. He ain't got no teeth in there, so he probably want to see his boyfriend in there to go and take care of that.
They gave him his teeth back. Yeah, but that was a funny. Yeah, hold my teeth, nigga. Okay. Anyway, man, this is sometimes as you go through different situations, you realize I laugh about that situation now, but that night it wasn't funny.
No.
When the police come and it's alleged gunshots, they come on high alert, guns drawn, flashlights out. Where the body at? And they start lying. We understand there was some gunshots fired, and there was some there's a body. We're about to tell us where the body is now, and who did the shooting, and we'll look out for you in court. Hey, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
You ain't gonna look out for nobody in no court.
Get out of here with that bullshit. So anyway, man, I'm just saying, Doc, Don't let your emotions overrule common sense. It don't take but a minute to get caught up with some of this bullshit, man.
No, that's what's wrong with a lot of us, man. Our emotions. My my pop used to say, "Yo, let your emotion overwhelm your ass."
Yeah. Okay. Man, you want to check with your boy and see if he got the right link?
I sent him the link. I'm
Okay.
looking at the email right now, and
Okay.
he ain't said nothing back. I'm wondering
All
if he's
right.
still working with those kids. We can just go on road with the show.
All right, that's no problem, Doc. You're live with Lonzo and my man Kevin Collins. Kevin Collins is you studying psychology or something. What are you doing up in your game?
Well, right now, I did when I was so funny that you asked that. So when I first started doing this back in 2008, that's all I went to school for was psychology, philosophy, and I really wanted to find out what was going on with us as Black people, why we acting so crazy, and why are we so angry, as a people. So I did a lot of studying. I even wrote a book called The Intergenerational Trauma from a Black Perspective.
Okay, tell me about that book, man.
So it was a study on, understanding, what's going on with us as Black people. And in the book, I discovered that, all of these different Jim Crow laws, the Willie Lynch letter, which most people think is fake. But if you look and actually read the Willie Lynch letter, exactly what that letter is saying, you'll see is going on with us today.
Right.
Black older men not getting along with young men not getting along with older men, women not getting along with men, so on and so dark not getting along with light. It's all, a part of that letter. And it has manifested itself in us today, where most of us as Black people, we looking at each other as the enemy versus as trying to find somebody to work with.
Okay.
So we've been pinned up against each other when it comes to that toxic stress and that intergenerational trauma and transmitted trauma, to where now we just look at each other as an enemy. We don't even want to literally work together. Not all of us now, because some of us have broken the cycle, but a lot of us are still caught up in that cycle. I mean, it even transfers to where the mothers have been put up against the fathers, which was done to us in slavery.
Okay.
And now when you look at the mothers, they believe that, once I have a baby by this man, if I go ahead and put him in the court system, I can get some child support behind this. And now it pushes the father out of the way, to where the mother now got control of the family, where she can do whatever she wants to. And at the same time, she ain't gonna get no job, because whatever that man is bringing through the door is her finances, and ain't nobody gonna tell her how to spend that money.
Now, you know what? I've seen this scenario unfold in real life, up close and personal, where the plan is get pregnant, we get Section 8, and we would have to get us a cheap apartment, blah, blah, blah. Usually it backfires, because the girl gets the Section 8 because she got the baby, and as soon as she get everything she needs, they put the guy out.
Sure
His
do.
ass is stuck. Now, and he got the bill. That's worse than going to a restaurant and everybody eating, but you got to pay the whole damn bill.
That ain't right.
You see those Facebook posts where somebody had a birthday. Hey, come on by and hang out with us. All of a sudden, 15 girls show up, and they expect the guy to pay the whole damn bill. Same thing.
There it is.
It's the same thing. Only it's done for 18 years as opposed to one night. Now, when you say what you say, when men are removed from the household, and you got brothers who are being nurtured and not being raised in some cases. You didn't say that, I'm saying that. But they raised based on the emotional reaction as opposed to logical reactions. Is this how we get a bitch made brother?
Yeah, we call them Mitches. The male
Mitches.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a name for him.
And
so go ahead.
And it's sad to say, because once you pull the father out of the home, I wrote this in my book. Once you pull the father out of the home, now you got the vultures and these predators walking around here. So now the daddy not there to protect the home. Mama, she just sitting there worried about somebody inside, get inside her, make her feel good. That fool come in there and make her feel good and put her to sleep. Next thing you know, he in there messing with the kids. And you see that a lot. where these perverts go into these homes, and next thing you know, the daughter's having sex with the man, he having sex with the son, and he done left the mama alone. He over there all up in the kids.
And the mama don't want to hear what the kid got to say because shit, he's still doing her too.
Right. He paying her bills.
She can't afford to believe what he's saying.
No.
Wow.
No, it's a cycle. It's a hard cycle, Lonzo. But we constantly getting caught up in that tornado of transmitted trauma again, and our kids are the ones who are suffering, and it keeps on going from generation to generation, where the one kid, they think that it's normal for someone to act that way, so they go into another relationship. They've never seen an actual relationship, so they get into another relationship acting the same way that they did with their mamas, or when they saw their mama and their daddy going through, and they just keep on making that cycle happen over and over and over again.
You know, I'm sitting here, man. You making me think now. You're making me think, bro. And that is so true. Instead of passing down generational wealth, we're passing down generational trauma.
Yeah, it's like what's happening in the Black community. If you go just look in the projects, you can walk through the projects, you'll see it all day long. Just trauma on top of trauma. And you got some youngsters that are breaking the cycle. You got a few of them, but even the ones that's breaking the cycle, most of them are getting shot and killed.
And, you know, even if they break the cycle and go to college, and this is something I was telling my partner the other day, as a club owner, I have given more parties for brothers going to prison or coming home from prison than I have for brothers going to college or coming home from college.
Yeah, they act like that's a badge of honor. I mean, there's people that go to the pen and they celebrate them going to the pen or coming out.
Yeah.
But it's like, the dude just graduated and got a master's degree in something, and we just like, whatever. We got it all backwards.
We got it backwards in a lot of ways, man. We got it backwards in a lot of ways, dude. And you just wonder how we got here. What you think? The Willie Lynch theory or what? It's
a lot, because you even had the Jim Crow laws. You know, the Jim Crow laws was another part that segregated us and caused the elite whites to believe that they were better than us. And then they got those indentured slaves, which were the poorer whites, to make them, they think they better than us. So we constantly are having people coming out looking at us as thinking they're better than us and just continuously putting us down.
Well, you know what? This was my understanding was, in the beginning, you had the indentured slave, black and white, and they started working together because they realized who their problem was. And then they found a way to elevate the white indentured slaves so that they would look down upon the black indentured slaves. And then they brought in some so-called lesser, I know we're on Facebook and YouTube. We don't want to get shut down.
Right.
You brought in people from other countries that still had the same color skin, but they weren't as respected on the spectrum as they were as others. You know, because some people feel that they are the superior ones over everybody, but you still got other folks that still have non-melanated skin that are considered a certain color, but they're not respected on the same level.
Right.
Know?
Right.
And we'll put them over. We'll put them in either law enforcement or something like that. That way, they still feel it's more classism than racism. Put it that way.
Yeah, it's an art of control. You know, you figure, like you just said, you get the ones who are not on that high ADA, and then you'll take them and say, okay, I'm gonna give you some power. So you give them a badge, and at first they gave them a badge and a horse. And then they called them the ones who would corral all the slaves up, and after a while, they became the police department.
The slave trackers. Yeah, I see. Man, you're making me think. You slowed me down. So I'm thinking at the same time.
I see the smoke coming out the top of your head.
You know, when you think about this, man, it really makes you wonder. It makes you think about a lot of different things, a lot of different perspectives that most people don't talk about. And we can't talk about this on certain platforms because we'll get shut down.
Right.
And that's something that makes you wonder why you can't talk about certain things. If you got true free speech, why ain't everything open to discussion? But I'm not gonna fight with on these platforms about what's free speech and what's not, because I think the message we getting the message across. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that we just got to say it in a way that ain't gonna agitate the algorithms.
I think, you know what I think we need to do, Alonzo? We call you Alfonso. Alonzo, is I really believe that blacks, you know, if we were to really buckle down, stop hating each other,
Okay.
start looking at the next man saying, you know what, bro, I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna do what I can to make myself better. And then if you want to jump on that train of getting yourself better, then jump on that train. If you're not, then let my train keep on moving. And if we come to that point of stop hating each other, you know, seeing that black man elevating, and then most of us, I've seen a lot of times, most black people, they look at another black person as elevating like red crabs, and they do want to pull that person back down to that level. But if we had the mentality of blue crabs, then what'll happen is that once that person begins to elevate to that next level, that person who's at the top can start pulling those people up who are willing to come.
Wait. You talk is this real or this is an analogy?
No, look at, if you ever notice, go look at red crabs and look at blue crabs.
Okay.
Red crabs, yeah. Red crabs, when you look at red crabs, when one crab gets out of the net or out of the pot, the other crabs will pull that crab back down. Okay. When you look at blue crabs, what they'll do is you get the one crab that'll get out, he or she'll reach back down, and the crabs will begin to make a train to each other to pull all the other crabs out of there.
Huh. I never knew that before. I'm going to look. That on YouTube?
I don't know. I read about it because I'm a book reader, so I love reading books.
Okay.
But I was in the military before, and I saw they were talking about, I was over in China, and they had caught some blue crabs. And they were telling us a story about the blue crab. I had to start doing the research on it. But they showed us that you'll notice if you ever go to a restaurant, you can always find red crabs, but it's very hard to find blue crabs. And that's the reason why. They can't catch them.
That's interesting, Doc. Okay. I learned something today. All right. As we move forward, what would you think would be something that we could do as people to bring some unity to our own community?
Bring unity to our community?
Yeah, somebody asked me that question one day, and I said, you know what? It would be really hard because we're divided in so many different ways. We're divided by skin color, skin tone, age, religion, politics. What one thing that we all have in common that we can put aside all the differences and move forward as a unit?
I would say quit being so many, you know, it's not going to be just one answer to that.
Okay.
But again, we talked about emotions. You know, if we can learn how to bring our emotions down, and start logically thinking like men and talking amongst each other, I believe that can be the foundation to begin the movement to improving how we do things. I mean, look at Martin Luther King and Malcolm. The two of them, Malcolm was on one agenda, Martin was on another. But they both, when they came together, they talked like men.
Okay.
When they talked like men, they was like, but understand, you know, hey, Martin, you all about peace. Malcolm was like, I'm not about peace. I'm all about any means necessary. But when they began to look and see each other's perspective, they can actually see, okay, I can see how Malcolm can see how peace can have some type of way of helping us move forward. And Martin began to see, you know what, if I take a forceful way of doing things, I can actually be able to gain attention from others. So it's just us just looking at each other and not looking at each other saying, you know what, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, but actually saying, you know what, I can take what you just said, put it into perspective, and maybe it can actually help me to move a little bit forward.
You know what? With that being said, we got about 10 seconds left. We're gonna wrap this show up. We're gonna leave them wanting more. They always say, leave them wanting more. We're gonna leave them wanting more, Doc. Kevin, it was a great talking to you, Doc. This is the third episode of CLA TV. What does CLA stand for? Tell them.
So it stands for County Los Angeles.
Okay.
But you know what? And actually, we just changed it around and said, "Hey, come CLA and CLA from our perspective."
All right, folks. My man Kevin, much love to you, Doc. I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Peace, folks. Thank you for watching. We out of here.